Everyone who hates when I win. The winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line.
When Rachel Zegler has faced backlash, her apologies have often been difficult for fans to accept and have become a point of contention for critics. Instead of directly addressing the concerns, many have noticed that she tends to shift the blame onto her emotions or claims of misunderstandings. After making several comments about the new version of feminism in her Snow White role, Rachel posted an emotional apology video. However, some fans felt that her explanation didn't fully address the issues at hand, leaving them frustrated with her response. When Rachel Zegler has faced backlash, her apologies have often been difficult for fans to accept and have become a point of contention for critics. Instead of directly addressing the concerns, many have noticed that she tends to shift the blame onto her emotions or claims of misunderstandings. After making several comments about the new version of feminism in her Snow White role, Rachel posted an emotional apology video. However, some fans felt that her explanation didn't fully address the issues at hand, leaving them frustrated with her response. Rachel has been known to brush off fan requests, once saying it was rude for fans to ask for a song while she was singing. She even remarked, "People say I'm rude to my fans," back when she had around 5,000 followers. This behavior left many feeling alienated, as she seemed to disregard their support in favor of her own preferences. One of the most talked about moments in Rachel's career came during the promotion of Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Many fans felt that the role was beneath her talents, but Rachel made a surprising admission in an interview. When asked what drew her to the role in the DC superhero film, she bluntly said, "I needed a
stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour.
Job. I'm being so serious." This candid response left some fans questioning her commitment to the project and whether she truly valued the opportunity. While Rachel's blunt honesty resonated with some, many found it off-putting. Critics argued that her comment undermined the film and its fans, making it seem as though she viewed the project as more of a chore than something she was passionate about. "I hate this. I get it, but I hate this," one fan expressed. "I know it's not meant to be disrespectful, but it feels like a gut punch to the fans of the movies and the comics." Others took issue with her tone, feeling as though she was suggesting she was above everyone else involved in the project. The comment sparked frustration, with some wondering, are you really so much better than everyone else working on this film? The timing of Rachel's response only fueled the perception of entitlement, leaving many fans questioning her attitude toward the work and the people involved. Rachel's remarks left a sour impression on many, especially during the SAG-AFTRA strike, which affected so many actors in the industry at the time. In a viral video, she passionately argued that actors deserve fair pay, using her role as Snow White to illustrate her point. "If I'm going to stand there for 18 hours in a dress as an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour it streams online," she said. While her sentiment was widely understood and supported, the way she expressed it rubbed some people the wrong way. Many criticized her tone, feeling that it came across as entitled or out of touch with the struggles faced by others in the industry. However, many fans weren't convinced by her apology, feeling that she was simply deflecting blame onto them without offering a genuine explanation. Some even argued that her response made things worse. "This isn't an apology. This is more damaging," one fan commented. "Her arrogance is unbelievable. It's like she's actively campaigning for people to boycott Snow White at this point, almost trolling Disney." Many felt that the younger generation's sense of entitlement, as exemplified by Rachel, was reaching new heights, with some labeling it as a version of victimhood. In fact, Rachel has been accused of dismissing fans' opinions as invalid, often labeling them as toxic or overly critical. People have pointed out past instances, even before her rise to fame, where she would talk over her fans during live streams. When fans requested songs, she would sometimes ignore their requests, focusing instead on what she wanted to sing, further alienating those who supported her. Many felt Rachel's comments came across as entitled, with some arguing that her framing seemed dismissive of less privileged workers in the industry. While some defended her stance on fair labor practices, saying she was 100% right, others accused her of being out of touch. One response called her the most insufferable woman I've ever seen, while another sarcastically claimed she was displaying liberal privilege. Critics took issue with the timing of her remarks, feeling that her focus on her own situation was insensitive, given that the broader strike was about solidarity among actors of all levels, not just high-profile stars. Conservative commentators quickly seized on the situation, suggesting that Rachel's outspoken remarks could harm her career, with some claiming she basically just ended her acting career. In response to the backlash, Rachel turned to social media to defend herself, tweeting, "Fellas, is it woke to want to be fairly compensated?" While some fans appreciated that she was using her platform to advocate for industry-wide reform, others felt she was only reinforcing the public perception of her as out of touch and self-centered. Rachel's growing list of controversies has begun to significantly impact how she's viewed in the industry, especially when it comes to promoting films. Some critics argue that her outspoken nature and frequent clashes with audiences have made her more of a liability than an asset, potentially jeopardizing future roles. Her behavior during interviews for Snow White, as well as her responses after the trailer's release, have raised concerns for many, with some wondering if these missteps could ultimately derail her career. Casting Rachel in a film may not be worth the potential PR headaches, especially for projects that rely on a strong fan base. Having an actress who sparks division rather than unity can be a risky move. Rachel's comments about reimagining Snow White were intended to modernize the character, but instead, they alienated Disney's loyal fan base. Her dismissive tone toward the original film led to accusations that she was tarnishing a beloved legacy to push her own agenda. Another serious criticism of Rachel is the gap between her public advocacy for causes and her actions, which many feel don't always align with her words. Rachel often speaks out about feminism, representation, and social justice, but many argue that her actions don't always match her words. Her involvement in Snow White is a prime example. While she's positioned herself as an advocate for empowering women and has talked about how the film will reflect modern feminist values, some critics feel that her comments are more about gaining attention than creating real, meaningful change. They struggle to see how the original plot of Snow White is inherently problematic and question whether the push for reimagining it is truly about progress or simply a way to ride the wave of social causes for personal gain. In my view, there's nothing inherently unfeminist about the original Snow White. Disney could easily modernize the language and elements of the story while still preserving the core idea: Snow White being saved by and falling in love with a prince. It's not a misogynistic horror story. However, the controversy around Rachel's role, particularly alongside Gal Gadot, has added another layer of complexity. While Rachel has been vocal about her support for progressive causes, including Palestinian rights, some critics have found it hypocritical for her to star opposite Gal, whose support for Israel has drawn significant backlash from activists. One critic pointed out the glaring contradiction between Rachel's advocacy and her casting choice. One critic bluntly stated that if Rachel Zegler truly stood by her values, she would have walked off the Snow White project when she found out she would be working with Gal Gadot. The fact that she didn't, according to this view, undermines her stance. Many feel Rachel's actions should have spoken louder than her opinions. She could have withdrawn from the project after learning who her co-star would be. Despite the backlash, it seems that most people can't overlook the string of controversies Rachel has found herself in. This could ultimately affect the success of the upcoming Snow White. Do you think Rachel has a chance to clear her name and rebuild her image? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to check out this other video for more drama.